Well, hello, I'm so glad you're here. I want to show you how bookkeeping works and what we can do to be really helpful to you and make your life easier. Okay. So the first thing for you to be aware of is that there's bookkeepers and there's bookkeepers, just like there's electricians and there's electricians. Okay. The difference between one electrician is they might do a rubbish job, leave a mess behind them, and not even get back to you when you call them. The other electrician might just do a great job and be reliable, charge reasonable rates, and they're there when you need them. It's like that with bookkeeping. Okay, you want to pick someone who's going to work for your business and someone who actually gets it. You're the customer. You're the one that they're there to serve. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to pick someone who's trustworthy, someone who knows what they're doing, who's been there, done that. You want to pick someone who is going to just tell you the truth, and tell you the truth up front. So a lot of people, their questions around bookkeeping is, well, what will you do for me, and how much will you charge? And the whole "what will you do for me," well, that is dependent on what do you need, because you might have an admin staff member who's already doing a lot of the simple bookkeeping, and you can either free them up by getting that work off them, or you might want them to do some of the basics. Or you might not have that, and it might just be you and your wife is just pulling her hair out in frustration at having to do your stupid books. And believe me, you know about it. So it's like, what do you need? Well, let's look at what you need. Is it that you need help with your invoicing, so that you're getting invoices out to people within 12 to 24 hours of when you did the work for them? Because if you don't, well, they're going to see that slackness and they're going to be slack in paying. Okay. Or is it the invoicing is all over the shop, and you've got people who owe you money from 3 or 4 months ago that you haven't collected? What sort of work do you need there? Because we can help with all that. We can even be the ones who get in contact with the people who owe you money and get that sorted. Is the issue that you've got bills that you haven't paid? If so, that's easy to solve. Is the issue that it's coming up to tax time and your accountant is going to charge you the earth because you're giving your accountant basically nothing to work with? You're like, here, Mr. Accountant, take this, this shoebox full of receipts and fix this for me for my tax. And the accountant's like, whoa, I could do that for you. I'm going to charge you $300 an hour. Have you thought that through? Because why would you pay an accountant $300 an hour when you could pay a bookkeeper way less, and they'll get things ready for the accountant? Okay, then when the accountant goes to do your tax, they're just making decisions about how to allocate your tax instead of actually doing bookkeeping work and charging accountant rates. That makes no sense. Another thing to be aware of with your bookkeeping is you need to know how much money you're going to have in a month's time, in 3 months' time. Are you setting money aside ready for your BAS or ready for each week's pay run? Fortnightly pay run, whatever. It's like, you can't do that. You can't make good decisions if you don't have good bookkeeping. So most people who we work for are going to need a hand with that. And it's called cash flow or cash flow planning. We can help you out with that so you're not stuck. And then the other thing is that it's like everything that you need to know about your business financially is already in your Xero software. You just don't know where to find it. So we can show you how to find it, or if you just couldn't be bothered, I don't blame you. Just get in touch, tell us I need to know this, and then we'll find the relevant report, give you a link to it. Easy. Okay, so that's what we do for people, and basically we make it so that you don't have to spend your night time dealing with the books when you could be out there earning heaps more money, doing your trade, doing your craft, and paying someone else to do your books for you. Also, it means that your wife's not sitting there just frustrated out of her brain, telling you how much she never signed up for this, like it was your business, not hers. We've all heard that before from our wives, because it's not fair that she has to do the books. But it's also like, well, sometimes you need to eat and you don't get paid if you don't do the books. So instead of making it your wife's problem, make it our problem, because we're happy to take that problem on. Okay. And then that brings us to the next question that people always have, which is pricing. How much do you charge? Look, it really depends on what you need. Okay. What I can tell you is that the price we give you will be fair. It will be fair to you, and it will be fair to us. We just live in a fair world. Okay. And the reality is that it wouldn't matter even if you chose the dumbest bookkeeper in Australia. If they can save you time so that you can go out there and spend more time doing your trade, you'll earn the money back to pay for them. Now, obviously, we're not the dumbest in Australia. Hopefully, we're one of the best people that you could meet. Hopefully, who knows? But it's like, we'll do above and beyond for that. Okay, so money you spend on a bookkeeper, you don't want to view that as an expense. You want to view that as you're buying an asset. The asset you're buying is freedom from worrying about your books, freedom from fighting with your spouse, freedom from not having time to just, I don't know, play computer games or go out with your friends or do whatever in the evenings. And you're also buying the opportunity to make good quality financial decisions, because you can see exactly where you're up to in your finances. Really important. Very few tradies have that. It's really important to me that I can give you that. So that's important. When it comes to like bookkeeping, I'll be honest with you, bookkeeping is not rocket science, okay? People who try to make out that bookkeeping is really tricky and really hard, it's like bookkeeping is no different to making a sandwich, okay? You can make a great sandwich, an average sandwich, or a terrible sandwich, but really it's not rocket science. You just need someone who's competent at making sandwiches. With bookkeeping, it's the same. You just need someone who's going to tell you the truth, be on time, communicate well, and get your bookkeeping done for you. It's not actually that hard. It just needs to be done well and consistently and by someone you trust. One last one is, well, hold on. How can I trust a bookkeeper? Won't they have my bank or my banking stuff? What if they take money out of my account? Honestly, that's not how bookkeeping works. Bookkeeping is recording the things that happen in your bank account. It's not doing your bank transactions for you. I mean, sometimes people want a bookkeeper to do that, but generally, even paying your staff, generally what will happen is, say, we'll do the maths, we'll send you a file that you upload to your own bank. Okay, so if I think back to, say, a previous business that I've owned, we had about 70 staff, and every fortnight, my bookkeeper in that, because I wasn't doing my own bookkeeping at that point, my bookkeeper would send me a file. I'd take that file, I'd upload it to my bank, everyone would be paid. It took me maybe 5 minutes a fortnight. My bookkeeper never touched my bank account. In fact, no one in that business touched my bank account except me. So I don't want you to live in fear of, oh no, a bookkeeper's going to steal from me. Even a dodgy one's going to have to work pretty hard to convince you to click some settings so they can steal from you. Okay, but you get the gist. So don't hold back. So how do you know when it's time to get in touch with, say, us? It's really easy. Your wife's telling you need a bookkeeper, except she doesn't use those words. Let's be honest. Your kids are like, oh, who's that person who I used to hang out with? Your accountant is telling you, oh, sure, I'll do your bookkeeping for you and I'll charge the earth. No worries. Or you could just get a bookkeeper. Who else? Your customers are not paying you because they haven't been invoiced. And the tax man at some point is going to give you a phone call and they're going to try and work out, are you dodgy or are you stupid? Because if you're dodgy, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And if they decide you're not dodgy, but you are stupid, it's still going to cost you a lot of money. Maybe a bit less stressful, but let's be honest, once you get a phone call from the ATO, you can kiss goodbye to 20 hours or 30 hours and add the stress. So we come in, we help, we make your life easy. Ideally, we'll do things with you by Zoom because no one wants to go and sit down with their bookkeeper and hand over physical receipts and stuff like that. I mean, unless it's the first time you've met or something and you're just checking out that they're normal. You don't want that. You want someone who just does stuff for you. They pick up the phone or they jump on Zoom and they sort whatever they need for you and give you what you need. Unless you are profoundly lonely, you don't want to be spending time with your bookkeeper. You want your bookkeeper to be this silent person in the background who just gets crap done, okay? So that's what we are. So long story short, if we can be helpful, get in touch. One more thing actually is if you've got a bookkeeper who's working for you, but in your head you're like, I think they're doing a rubbish job, and you just want someone to check that for you, look, we'll have a look. We'll know pretty quickly. Are they doing a rubbish job or are they doing a great job? If they're doing a great job, keep them. If they're doing a rubbish job, well, we can help with that, Just if you've got a rubbish bookkeeper, trade them in for a good one. All right, long story short, we're here to help. Keep being awesome at your craft, at your trade, and let someone else take responsibility for the books so that you can look after your customers.